This is J.P. McDaniel with ESFI World.com, and I'm here with Gumbot at BlizzCon. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What's your real name, where are you from, and how old are you?
All right, so I'm from Canada in Ottawa. I'm 20 years old, and I go to university in Ottawa, and I just began my third year.
So what's your major actually in college?
Major in criminology and minor in psych.
So you're planning to be a cop or a lawyer? Or?
Maybe a mass murderer, I don't know.
A mass murder,
Yeah.
wow. That's kind of evil, man.
Oh no, it's a dangerous profession. I think I can handle it. After
right.
staring down the Koreans, I can stare down any criminals.
So I guess we could talk about that a little bit. You guys just actually played the Koreans here at BlizzCon. Now, the Koreans had a ton of hype behind them coming into this tournament. What did you guys think? Do you think they matched the hype?
I think they matched the hype, but I mean, well, maybe not to the fullest extent. People knew that they were definitely, I think they're the most skilled players here, but they run Rogue Mage Priest, and they had, unfortunate events happen. They ended up playing against our Roguelock Druid, so they couldn't win. It was the closest matches you possibly could have imagined, 3-2 in the series, and they did something new every time. They showed, if any other American Rogue Mage Priests got to watch those games, they would completely change their playstyle because they would copy them.
So you would say that the Korean RMPs definitely have something up on the American RMPs, right?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I mean, the Americans have sort of let Priest Mage Rogue die out because they like other comps, like double healers, or they like Warrior Mage Druid. They just, they like other things besides Rogue Mage Priest now. But I think the Koreans like what they're used to.
So now patch 3.0 is coming, and so is Wrath of Lich King. Do you think that the RMP comp is going to actually come back and be as strong as it once was?
I honestly don't think that a Rogue Mage Priest is going to come back to what it was before. I mean, it's sort of like a luck of the draw. There's like 30 comps that could be played in 3.0 amazingly, and so many of them are going to get buffs, and it's really hard to tell which ones are going to be the best.
Right. So let's actually get to know the real Gumbot. In high school, did you play any sports?
Nope.
Were you on the chess team? What'd you do for extracurricular?
I was on the tennis team for a bit.
How'd that go? Were you any? I guess you weren't any good because you were on it for a bit, huh?
Yeah, well, I quit, but I'm not into sports or anything like that, really.
Really? So how did you end up becoming pro in Warcraft? I mean, you said you weren't really into team sports, but Warcraft is a team game. I mean, it's 3-on-3. So do you think there's a correlation between something like a team sport like football or something like that and World of Warcraft?
Well, the way I got into World of Warcraft is I've been playing since release, 4 years ago. And eventually, it wasn't always like a team game, but there wasn't even Arena, there wasn't even Warsong, there wasn't even Honor. So as I continued to play, I was sort of forced into playing with other people's World of Warcraft. So I'm sure there's aspects of planning and coordinating with your members, but yeah, it's a team game.
So let's actually talk about your team a little bit. Can you give us a little history and talk about how you guys came about as being selective queuers?
Well, we'd always played with or against each other, usually against each other actually, since me and Yogg are both Warlocks as our mains. So we sort of grew as a friendship over playing against each other and realizing, hey, that guy's really good. And then when TR1 came out, Yogg whispered me, asking me if I just wanted to have some fun on the TR and see what we could do. Not even try and qualify. But as soon as we started playing our Roguelock Druid, we trashed everyone. We were beating some Warlock Druids and people running Roguelock Druid and Rogue Mage Priests, and those were all the comps that there were. And we climbed up to 4th in the first day.
So you mentioned also your teammates. Do you actually know? I mean, you probably know their full names, right? And their ages and where they're from.
Yeah, Wojo Nick Shamron is from Boston, and I think he's 18. Yogg is actually 16. He's from Dallas, Texas.
So they're actually pretty young for some of these World of Warcraft players. I mean, most recently everyone knows about Swarm nerd raging at ESLA. Now, do you think that was because of his maturity level being so young, or do you think that was just him as a person, or what do you think about that?
I think that's him as a person because, I mean, Yogg's way more cool-headed than a lot of the people here. I mean, I knew that was going to happen because I had played with Swarm and I played with Nelio and I'd listen to them play on Vent, and he is nerd rage. We've just recorded Swarm thousands of times because it's just unbelievable how much he rages.
Right. So what did you actually think about ESL? I mean, have you been to some MLGs before?
Nope. I'd just been to the 2 Blizzard events.
Okay, so You guys are basically still looking to be sponsored, right?
Yeah, we turned down a couple sponsors actually because Wojo doesn't want to play after BlizzCon, really.
He doesn't want to play in 3.0 or anything like that, or
No.
So what's next for you then? Do you want to continue playing?
I'll continue playing, but I mean, I think I'm gonna try and re-roll for 3.0 and Wrath of the Lich King because I think Warlocks are gonna be a lot less powerful.
So what are you thinking of re-rolling?
Probably a mage. Originally I played mage on Arthas. I actually played with Reagan. We discovered just a couple days ago we both play on the same server. We knew each other. We played Warsong together actually. So
that's pretty crazy. Yeah. So what do you think about some of these other teams? I mean, you mentioned Reagan from Fnatic, and you have teams like EG and just all the other sponsored teams. What's your opinion on all of them after meeting them in real life at some of these tournaments?
I was really surprised by Fnatic and Hafu. I wasn't exactly sure how she'd be, but you know, she handles being the only girl quite well. I mean, I don't know if I was the only guy I could handle it so well.
So, what do you actually think about Hafu? Do you think that she's really the person holding up that team as everyone else would say she is, or do you think it's just the comp that makes them so good? Or, I mean, obviously they're friends, so you don't want to trash talk them too much, but what do you think?
I think Glick holds up the team, to be honest. Like, I mean, you saw in those Made in Taiwan, against Made in Taiwan at BlizzCon, that it was tied 2-all, and they were really uncomfortable with playing against this BM Hunter setup, and Glick was the only person who could change their class, and he changed, and it came out and won.
Right, so I mean, she's obviously the captain of her team, right? She pretty much runs that team.
She's the most vocal, but I think Reagan and Glick are a bit more skilled than her.
Right. So, what are your parents obviously know about you going to these tournaments and stuff. What do they think about you going to these tournaments? Do they see it as you having a future in it, or do you even see yourself having a future in this?
I mean, I don't see the future going that much further. Like, I had to reschedule a couple midterms in order to come here out to BlizzCon. You know, I had 3 midterms on Wednesday, had to get up really early and fly out Thursday. So, I mean, it could be the end soon, but
so
I don't know. That's about it. Yes.
I mean, what do your parents think about this? I mean, obviously they have an opinion on it.
I mean, they think it's all right. I mean, I'm not really missing that much class.
Right.
I mean, playing computer at home versus playing computer
so
at BlizzCon.
It's all the same to them as long. I mean, you're just getting extra travel.
Yep. Getting my Aeroplan points, actually. They're very keen on me getting Aeroplan points.
So, as a kid when you were growing up, how did you get into gaming?
Well, I really enjoyed like the Quake 3 series, or Quake, and you know, once that sort of died out, what was left, everyone was talking about World of Warcraft, so I went to World of Warcraft. And I mean, I'd always been a fan of the Blizzard games. I played Diablo 1, I played Diablo 2, I played Warcraft, played Warcraft 2, played Warcraft 3. I mean, I always had fun even before there was Battle.net, like just playing on the LAN connections with people.